News 4, watching out for you.
Temperatures in the 20s never felt so warm, and though it is at least cold enough to snow, we are tracking our next round next.
A U.S. military chopper crashes overseas with deadly consequences. We'll have the latest on the investigation. What would you do if you found a stranger still in your house when you got home? One man grabbed a camera and interviewed the suspect. Trust me, this is one of those stories you just have to see to believe. And also ahead, butter or margarine, what's on your table? We have some new information to help you make a healthy choice. Just not how you want, but now we shall. And the winners have not yet been announced for tonight's People Choice Awards, but we already know Jennifer Hudson is taking home an honor. We'll let you know why. News 4 at noon starts right now.
You're watching News 4 at noon in high definition.
Good afternoon and happy Wednesday to all of you. I'm Laura Hettiger. Robin Smith has the day off. Thank you so much for joining us. Now, we are climbing out of the deep freeze, but that does not mean the snow is long gone. Meteorologist Katie Horner is in the Weather Center tracking what should be just light snow. Please, this time around, Katie.
I hear the please in your voice. Yes, it is just going to be light snow. Coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, thank you, Katie. We have new information about a potentially dangerous driving situation. This was the scene this morning in Swansea on 159. A water main broke there yesterday afternoon, sending water all across the road, creating a driving hazard. Repair crews had hoped to have it fixed, but they are still on the scene. Just minutes ago, they told us they hope to have repairs finished by early afternoon. That's not the only trouble spot on the roads. One of our crews shot this video of a water main break in North St. Louis. You can see water just running down the street. It was at Goodfellow and Veronica. Water crews are at the scene trying to make the repairs and make the roads safe for drivers. The odor problem that has plagued the Bridgeton landfill in St. Louis County for several months is back, and this time the extreme cold weather is part of the problem. Landfill officials say repairs to the gas extraction system are necessary after the cold weather hampered that system, creating more foul odors. The work is expected to be done soon. And if you thought driving around here was tough the last couple of days, hey, you have to come here to your TV right now to see this next video. Watch as one car comes across a bridge near St. Paul, Minnesota. The driver loses control and the car goes airborne off the side of that bridge and lands on a frozen pond below. Get this, the 24-year-old driver walked away with only minor injuries. Now, this is a great picture of just how cold it is out east. This is from Atlantic City, New Jersey, where you can see waves frozen on the beach. They are expecting to reach double-digit temperatures today, so this should melt. Meanwhile, News 4 continues following a homicide investigation in North St. Louis. It happened just before 1 this morning behind a home in the 2600 block of Hickory. A 20-year-old was shot several times and rushed to a hospital in critical condition. He died a few hours later. Police are now looking for 4 suspects who they say took off in a silver car. Happening today, the new session of the Missouri legislature begins. Tax cuts will likely be a big issue early in this session. Authorities say they are working to retrieve the bodies of 4 American service members killed in a helicopter crash on England's coast. Alfonso Van Marsh has the latest on this investigation.
The family of 4 U.S. Air Force members who died. Alfonso Van Marsh, CBS News, London.
The names of the airmen are expected to be released within 24 hours. President Obama will hold meetings today to talk about reforms to the National Security Agency. The NSA's surveillance programs have come under fire after Edward Snowden leaked documents to the public. Those files revealed the agency had been spying on citizens and world leaders. Today, the president will sit down with a pair of oversight committees. Tomorrow, he will meet with congressional leaders. Former Defense Secretary Robert Gates is coming out with a new book that's critical of President Obama and Vice President Biden. Gates served under both Presidents Obama and George W. Bush. He says President Obama always supported the troops, but doubted his own policy in Afghanistan. Gates also claims Vice President Biden is a man of integrity, but was regularly wrong on foreign policy issues. The White House issued a statement supporting the vice president. Former Congresswoman Gabrielle Giffords plans to mark the 3-year anniversary of that mass shooting in Arizona by going skydiving today. 6 people were killed and 12, including Giffords, were injured when a gunman opened fire at a supermarket in Tucson. In the 3 years since, doctors say she has made an impressive recovery, learning to walk again. She plans to skydive today to commemorate that tragedy. What would you do if you came home to find someone in your house? Well, that is exactly what a photojournalist in Seattle came home to. Joe Orsillo walked into his house and found the place just trashed. We're talking drugs, stolen merchandise everywhere, and a man in his bedroom.
The place was in shambles. Food was everywhere. Carpeting was ruined. They had crack cocaine pipes. I understand if you had to sleep here.
Orsillo refused to turn and run. Instead, he got out his camera and started asking the man questions right on the spot.
What is it you think you're allowed to come in here and just do this to my house? Do you know how hard I worked on this house? This is my house I grew up in. This is my bedroom.
Wow, the homeowner continued grilling the man until police arrived and arrested him. A second man escaped through a bathroom window. Orsillo says he turned on his camera to make an example out of that criminal. Now, we've all seen anti-smoking ads. They've been around for decades, but do they really do any good, or are they just a waste of money? Coming up a little later on News 4 at noon, we'll let you know what we found out. And coming up after the break, there must have been too many dip bowls on New Year's Eve. If you are planning a Super Bowl party, you might want to know about a shortage of a party staple. The news is a little brighter for the nation's retailers after the holidays. Shopper Track reports a last-minute shopping surge helped holiday sales wrap up better than expected. But stores still had to offer major discounts to lure customers. Shopper Track keeps track of data from 40,000 stores across the country. Combined sales in November and December rose 2.7%. That's better than the 2.4% that was expected. And get ready for what some are calling the cheese apocalypse. Kraft says there may be a shortage of Velveeta for the next few weeks, and oh boy, it could really put a damper on your football party plans. Velveeta is traditionally used in dips like queso. Luckily, though, Kraft says it's a short-term situation brought on by increased seasonal demand. A new study just released shows that after 50 years in the making, there's hope for getting people to stop smoking. Details coming up. And butter consumption is on the rise. Find out why more people have been turning to the spread. That's coming up after the break. But first, let's go ahead and take a look at the fun fact. On this day, back in 1992, President George Bush committed what faux pas while on a diplomatic visit to Japan? That answer coming up a little later, only on News 4 at noon. News 4 always watches out for your health, and today we learned about a new study showing anti-smoking measures might be working. The Journal of the American Medical Association says those measures have saved roughly 8 million American lives. The data compares numbers dating back to 1964. That's when a Surgeon General's report linked smoking and disease. The study says 42% of adults smoked before that report, and now only about 18% of adults smoke. Officials with the Centers for Disease Control say 38 million Americans are drinking too much. According to a new report, only 1 in 6 of those adults talk to their doctors about their excessive alcohol use. The CDC says alcohol is responsible for 88,000 deaths in the U.S. each year. It also costs the economy $224 billion. Call it the trans fat backlash. Butter consumption has risen 25% in just the last decade. But that's not as bad as you might think. Although butter is high in saturated fat, many people are choosing it over other alternatives which have trans fat. The FDA links trans fat to high cholesterol and a higher risk of heart disease. As a result, many are sticking to butter.
More snow is not the only mess I'm tracking for St. Louis. Details after this break.
Tonight, the People's Choice Awards are handed out, but we already know this is one of the winners. Find out why right after weather. But first, let's take a look at the stock markets. You are watching News 4 at noon.
And then Sunday warms back up again. Monday, the temperature falls back down again. It is truly a roller coaster.
It looks like a roller coaster.
Yeah. And that 40 is like a morning temperature. So the rest of the day will be colder than that. So on Saturday.
Well, hey, I'm on News 4 this morning, so I'm fine if it's warmer in the morning. I'm not going to complain
I
about
hear you there.
that. Thank you, Katie.
You're welcome.
The ball is good, and there you are. You're running for your life.
Jennifer Hudson will be one of the winners tonight on the People's Choice Awards. The Grammy and Oscar-winning artist is being honored as favorite humanitarian for her work helping children in need. Katy Perry will roar at the Grammy Awards later this month. She's been added to the list of performers along with fellow nominee Lorde and the band Metallica. It will be Metallica's first Grammy appearance in more than 20 years. The show airs right here on KMOV on January 26th, live from LA. And if you're in the market for a new tablet, or hey, even if you're not, News 4 is giving away 20 Microsoft Surface tablets through a contest on our Facebook page. It's really simple to enter. All you have to do is like us for a chance to win. We'll announce the winners every day on News 4 this morning. Now, every winter, a road in an Oakland, California park closes to cars and dogs without leashes, all to protect one slimy creature. Find out what next. And Katie and I will be right back with the answer to today's fun fact. Today we want to know what faux pas President George Bush committed back in 1992 while on a diplomatic trip to Japan. That answer is coming up next, only on News 4 at noon. Time now to answer the fun fact.
Back on this day in 1992, while on a diplomatic visit to Japan, President George Bush committed what faux pas?
The answer? He threw up right on the Japanese Prime Minister. Now, the president had not been feeling well, and he ignored a doctor's order to stay in bed. Now, every winter, a road in Oakland, California closes, and wait until you hear why.
Well, of course, it's to protect the area's newt population during the rainy season. That's right. The park shuts the road down to protect the non-endangered lizards during this mating season while they cross the road. Why did they cross the road? Dogs have to be on leashes, bikers are urged to be careful, and no cars can drive on the road.
We close the road to protect the newts, and when they migrate, it's very sad to see them get squashed by cars.
Officials say this year no one has seen any newts. There hasn't been much rain.
Oh, darn it. Thanks for spending this half hour with us. We'll see you on News 4 at 5.